You think God has abandoned you? What if his silence is the only thing saving your life right now? Stay to the end. This truth will change everything. There is a terrifying truth about the moment you feel like giving up on everything. A secret that darkness will do anything to keep hidden from you. It is the moment when you lie alone between four silent walls, hearing every suffocating heartbeat echo inside your chest, and realizing with bitter clarity that what is tightening around your throat is not just earthly pain, but the unbearable silence of God himself. You begin to ask the question that shatters the soul. If God exists, why has he allowed me to rot in this living hell with no escape?
Why have you abandoned me?
But don't let go just yet, because what I'm about to reveal is not another empty comfort wrapped in pretty words. It is a shocking spiritual truth, a weapon powerful enough to tear apart the darkness that is suffocating your life right now. This truth once pulled me out from the grave of despair, and I believe it can do the same for you if you have the courage to stay with me until the very end. And if you don't want to miss the moment that could break every chain binding your mind, take a second to subscribe. Your support fuels this mission to create content that awakens souls and brings light into the deepest darkness. Welcome to Grace and Light. I know, behind that screen, you may be completely exhausted. That suffocating feeling isn't from a lack of oxygen. It's from a lack of faith. When the night falls, when the noise of the world fades into silence, that is when you stand alone before the most brutal courtroom of your inner self. Maybe it's the crushing weight of debt chasing you relentlessly, turning every morning into a battlefield for survival. Maybe it's that medical report lying crumpled on the table, carrying a silent death sentence for dreams that never had the chance to bloom. Or perhaps it's the deep, bone-piercing pain of betrayal, when someone you trusted with half your soul suddenly turns their back, leaving behind a hollow void that bleeds inside your chest. At the bottom of that abyss, you scream, but no sound comes out. Loneliness consumes you like a beast, devouring every ounce of reason you have left. And slowly, you begin to question your own worth. You tear yourself apart with silent questions. God, where are you? Have you abandoned me, thrown me away like I never mattered? I understand that pain down to every cell of my being, because I have been there. I have drowned in that same swamp you're standing in right now. I've felt anger. I've wanted to destroy my own faith, believing that the promises in the Bible were nothing more than poetic illusions, powerless against a decaying reality. But at the very moment my soul was about to collapse, I encountered something beyond explanation. God is not sitting on some distant throne watching your weakness with indifference. He is right there beside you, on that messy bed filled with your worries, quietly catching every tear you force yourself to swallow. That echo you hear in the darkness, it is not the voice of death. It is the most powerful whisper in existence. I am here, right in this room with you, and I will break every chain that is holding you captive. That promise of an unseen yet powerful presence is not just a temporary painkiller. It is the key to unlocking the truth behind those long seasons when God seems completely silent. You see, the cruelest part is not the storm that knocks us down. It is the feeling of being abandoned right in the middle of it. How many times have you cried until your body shook, pressed your face against the cold floor, begging for a miracle, only to be met with nothing? But silence? The silence of God is often misinterpreted as indifference, or worse, punishment. But let me tell you a truth I had to pay for with blood and tears to understand. When a blacksmith places gold into a furnace, he never takes his eyes off it, not even for a second. The fire burns hotter and hotter, so intense it feels like everything will be consumed. But the blacksmith knows exactly when to pull it out. God's silence is not absence, it is focus. He is not ignoring you, He is refining you. In that blazing furnace of suffering, the impurities begin to burn away. Pride, dependence on worldly things, illusions of control, all of it is reduced to ashes. We often demand that God rescue us according to our script, our timeline, our expectations, but the Almighty operates from a far greater design. His silence is a sacred space where your faith is being transformed. There was a time when I resented Him deeply, when I lost the very work I had poured my soul into, when every door of opportunity slammed shut in my face, one after another. I felt like a broken ship, being swallowed whole by an endless ocean. But it was in that terrifying silence, when all the noise of ambition, pride, and illusion collapsed, that I finally began to hear Him. Not loudly, not dramatically, but clearly. He didn't remove me from the storm immediately. Instead, He stepped into my sinking boat and taught me how not to fear the waves. The pain you are carrying right now is not the end. It is labor pain. The pain of something new being born. A seed cannot grow unless it first breaks open in the darkness of the soil. God allows darkness not to bury you, but to plant you. You are being rooted deeper into a foundation that no storm can ever destroy. So do not fear the silence, because right now, even when you cannot see it, the invisible hand of God is carefully rearranging every broken piece of your life. And for that great divine design, for that refining power of God to truly begin operating within your life, we are forced to face the most difficult test of being human: the complete surrender of our resistance. Let us be honest with one another. Isn't it true that you are trying, with every last drop of strength left in your body, to patch your life back together by yourself? You stay awake through the night, calculating every coin, every bill, every possible outcome. You swallow your pride and cling to every relationship that might offer even the smallest doorway of escape. You drain your mind, squeeze every thought dry, desperately hoping to find a narrow path out of the chaos. You force yourself to appear strong in front of the world. You wear the face of a fearless warrior. You pretend that nothing can break you. But deep inside, your soul has already collapsed into ruins. And the cruel truth is this: the harder you struggle, the deeper you sink. Our fragile ego has a wild, desperate hunger for control. We want to manage everything. We want to calculate everything. We want to predict the outcome, avoid the pain, protect the future, and save ourselves with our own trembling hands. In other words, we want to become our own savior. But here is the bitter truth that few people are willing to face. As long as your hands remain tightly clenched around your unfinished plans, your private fears, and your need to control every detail, the grace of God cannot fully pour into your life. The ultimate weapon in this spiritual battle is not forcing yourself to become stronger. It is not squeezing out one more ounce of effort. It is not pretending that you are fine. The ultimate weapon is unconditional surrender at the foot of the cross. And surrender does not mean cowardice. Surrender does not mean failure. Surrender does not mean abandoning your responsibility. True surrender is one of the bravest acts of faith a human being can ever make. It is the moment when you stand before your Creator, open your empty hands, wounded, scratched, bleeding, and cry out with the raw honesty of your soul, "I cannot do this anymore, Lord. Please take over this brokenness." There is a very thin line between carrying your cross and trying to crucify yourself upon it. I had to learn that truth through exhaustion, through sleepless nights, through the complete breaking of my own strength. There was a season when I pushed myself until my body and spirit were almost destroyed. Night after night, I lay awake while thousands of terrifying possibilities danced violently through my mind. I imagined every disaster, every loss, every humiliation, every door closing forever. Somewhere deep inside, I had convinced myself that if I worried enough, I could prevent catastrophe. But worry is a liar. Worry never protected me. Worry never changed tomorrow. It only drained the life out of today. It stole my breath, my peace, my clarity, my strength, and left me more exhausted than before. The true turning point of my life did not come when I finally discovered a perfect solution. It did not come when every problem disappeared. It did not come when the debts were erased, the doors reopened, or the storm suddenly became quiet. The turning point came on the night I completely collapsed. I had no strength left to fight, no clever plan left to trust, no pride left to protect, not even one tear left to cry. And from the deepest place in my soul, I whispered a prayer of total surrender. Lord, I give this torn and broken life to you. Whether I live or die, whether I succeed or fail, whether I rise again or lose everything, I belong completely to you. And the moment that broken prayer left my lips, something impossible happened. 1,000-pound burden seemed to be lifted from my shoulders. Not because the circumstances around me changed immediately. They did not. The debts were still there. The uncertainty was still there. The difficulties had not vanished. But something inside me changed. A quiet peace, beyond anything human understanding can explain, began to fill my chest. It was not the shallow peace of denial. It was not the temporary relief of distraction. It was the deep, steady peace of a child who finally realizes they are safe in the arms of an all-powerful Father. That is the miracle of surrender. You may still be standing in the storm, but the storm no longer owns you. You may still be surrounded by unanswered questions, but fear no longer has the final word. You may still not know how tomorrow will unfold, but your soul begins to understand that tomorrow is already held in the hands of God. When you stop thrashing in the violent current, when you stop exhausting yourself trying to swim against waters stronger than you, and when you finally dare to relax your body into the river of grace, something holy happens. The current that once terrified you begins to carry you. The grace you resisted begins to lift you. The God you thought was silent begins to hold you. So today, if your hands are tired from gripping too tightly, open them. If your heart is exhausted from trying to control everything, release it. If your mind is burning from endless fear, lay it down. You do not have to save yourself. You were never created to carry the weight of the universe on your shoulders. There is a Father who sees you. There is a Savior who has already gone before you. There is a grace strong enough to hold what your hands can no longer carry. And the moment you stop fighting against God's hands, you will discover that those hands were never trying to crush you. It is in that very moment, when you finally surrender completely, that the miracle of healing begins to flow quietly through the deepest wounds of your soul. Do not be naive enough to believe that God will come with some kind of magical eraser, wiping away every painful memory as if it never existed. That is not how He works. His way is far more profound, far more beautiful, far more eternal. God does not erase your scars. He transforms them. Those wounds that once bled, those moments that shattered you, those memories you wish you could forget forever. He turns them into something sacred, something powerful, something radiant. When you walk out of the furnace of suffering, you are no longer the fragile version of yourself that once entered it. You are refined, strengthened, transformed. The ashes of your failures, the betrayal that broke your trust, the dreams that collapsed before your eyes, none of it is wasted. God gathers every broken piece, every tear, every moment of despair, and uses it to build a foundation stronger than anything you could have created on your own. There was a time when I could not even look at myself in the mirror. I felt crushed, rejected, invisible, like my entire existence had been reduced to something worthless. But today, when I look back, I see something completely different. I see purpose. I see design. I see that every tear I cried carried meaning far beyond what I could understand at the time. Because if I had never walked through that valley of darkness, if I had never stood face to face with despair, if I had never felt completely broken, I would not be here today, speaking to you, reaching into your pain, understanding your struggle. Your pain is not a random accident. It is not a cruel joke played by fate. It is a divine lesson, crafted specifically for you. A training ground, a preparation. God is not just healing you, He is shaping you into someone who can heal others. Those who have suffered deeply often carry within them the greatest capacity for compassion, the greatest depth of understanding, the greatest power to bring light into someone else's darkness. When God binds your wounds, He is also placing into your hands the very medicine that can restore others. So do not hide your scars. Do not be ashamed of your past. Do not run from the parts of your story that feel broken or imperfect, because those very cracks, those fractures you wish no one could see, are where the light will shine through. You are like a piece of kintsugi pottery, once shattered into pieces, broken beyond recognition, but carefully restored, not with glue, but with gold. And now those cracks are no longer flaws. They are the most valuable, most beautiful parts of the entire creation. The enemy wants to use your past to shame you, to silence you, to trap you in guilt and regret. But God uses your past as undeniable evidence of His power, evidence that transformation is real, evidence that redemption is possible, evidence that no darkness is strong enough to overcome His light. And one day, the same people who doubted you, who walked away from you, who looked down on you, will stand in silence, in awe, as they witness who you have become. But your rise will not be fueled by bitterness. It will not be driven by revenge. It will not be marked by pride. Instead, it will be filled with grace, with forgiveness, with a deep and quiet strength that can only come from someone who has walked through fire and survived. You will move differently, speak differently, carry yourself differently, not with arrogance, but with the calm authority of someone who has seen darkness, felt it, endured it, and still chose light. And now, when darkness no longer has the power to intimidate a soul that has been marked by grace and healing, you are standing at the most important decision of your life. This is the moment where everything changes, because the dawn does not come to those who hide in the shadows, crying, complaining, waiting for the night to end on its own. The dawn comes to those who choose to rise, to those who dare to pull back the curtains of darkness with their own hands. Even when the light hurts their eyes, even when it feels unfamiliar, even when they are not fully ready. My friend, I am calling out to you, not from a distance, but from a place deep within your soul. Dry your tears. Enough of the endless self-judgment. Enough of the nights spent punishing yourself for the past. Enough of reliving moments that will never return. Today, right now, in this very moment, as you are hearing these words, a decree has already been released. A decree of grace. Every mistake, every failure, every moment you fell has already been nailed to the cross. Buried. Gone. You are no longer condemned. You are free. Free to stand again. Free to breathe again. Free to begin again. Do not make the mistake of waiting for your life to be perfect before you start believing that you are blessed. Do not wait for all your debts to disappear. Do not wait for every wound to be healed. Do not wait for every relationship to be restored. Because real faith does not wait for calm waters. Real faith walks on water while the storm is still raging. Stand up right where you are, in the middle of your brokenness, in the middle of your uncertainty, in the middle of everything that feels unfinished. Stand up and duck and take a breath, a deep breath, because the breath inside your lungs right now is not just air. It is life. It is power. It is the presence of the Creator Himself flowing through you. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. You are not a failure. You are carrying the bloodline of a victor. You are a child of the eternal kingdom. No darkness, no voice of doubt, no circumstance has the authority to define you anymore. Not for one more second. If what you have heard today has touched even the smallest wounded place in your heart, if it has ignited even a tiny spark of hope within you, hold on to it, protect it, because that spark has the power to become a fire strong enough to transform your life and the lives of others. Do not keep this message to yourself. Share it, because someone out there right now is standing on the edge, and your action could be the reason they choose to keep going. And if you want to continue this journey, if you want to rebuild what was broken, if you want to strengthen your soul and walk in truth, subscribe to Grace and Light. Walk with us. Grow with us. Rise with us. Before we close, let me speak a prayer over your life. May the unconditional love of God cover you. May the grace of Jesus Christ restore you. May the power of the Holy Spirit strengthen you. May every tear you have cried become a river of victory. May every broken piece of your life be rebuilt into something more beautiful than before. And from this moment forward, may you walk in light, because the light has already overcome the darkness. Conclusion. The core truth. The journey through life's storms was never meant to be easy. It was never meant to be comfortable, and it was certainly never meant to leave you unchanged. But through the silence that once terrified you, through the pain that felt like it would tear your soul apart, a greater truth begins to emerge. God has never abandoned you, not for a single moment. His silence was not rejection. It was refinement. It was the fire that burned away everything false, everything fragile, everything that could not sustain you in the life you were being prepared for. You were not being destroyed. You were being rebuilt, stronger, deeper, unshakable. And the moment you stopped fighting, the moment you surrendered control, was the moment grace finally had room to move. Your wounds, your failures, your past, they were never meant to define your ending. They were the raw materials of your transformation, the very evidence that redemption is real. Deep life lessons. True strength is not found in pretending to be unbreakable. It is not found in controlling every outcome. It is not found in exhausting yourself trying to carry the weight of life alone. True strength is found in surrender, in the courage to say, I cannot do this on my own anymore. Pain is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It is the place where illusions are stripped away, where pride is humbled, where your soul is prepared for something greater than you could ever imagine. Your scars are not signs of failure. They are proof that you survived. And more than that, they are the very tools that will allow you to bring healing into someone else's life. Peace does not come from the absence of storms. It comes from the realization that even in the storm, you are not alone. How to apply this in your life? When you feel overwhelmed, stop trying to force everything into place. Step back, find a moment of stillness, breathe deeply, and surrender what you cannot control, not as an act of defeat, but as an act of trust. When you look at your past, do not run from it. Do not hide it. Do not be ashamed of it. Instead, honor it, because every struggle you have survived has shaped the person you are today. And one day, your story will become someone else's survival guide. Take action, even when life feels uncertain. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Do not wait for complete clarity. Move forward with faith, even if the step you take is small, because faith is not about seeing the entire path. It is about taking the next step, even when you cannot see the ground beneath your feet. A moment of connection. Now I want to hear from you. In your darkest moments, did you try to carry everything alone? Or have you ever reached a point where you let go and discovered a peace you could not explain? Take a moment and share your story below, because your experience, your honesty, might be the exact light someone else is searching for right now. And if this message has touched your heart, if it has awakened something within you, do not keep it to yourself. Share it, because one simple act of sharing could change someone's life. And if you want to continue this journey of growth, of healing, of awakening, stay connected. Walk this path with us, because you were never meant to do this alone.